My name is Mark, and many of you know me for many different ways. Some of you will know me as Mark, that green guy that may have knocked on your door during the election campaigns, or one of the election campaigns, or grabbed a sign, put a sign down. So that's the kind of thing some may know me as. Others will know me as, Mark the renovator that may have come in and fixed up your house or fixed up your rental property, something like that, because that's part of my past as well. Others will know me when I introduce myself in a room as, hi, my name is Mark and I'm an addict. And, I've been doing that for a little over 32 years. So just in case if you wonder whether it works, it does work. The rooms do. There's a couple other ways that people know me. And I kind of title this talk a little bit about what's secret, and the one that is what I'm doing now in the mornings. I'm working. For those of you who were here last month, we had two people, Jaya and Justin. Both were also involved with Hope House, and I spend my mornings there helping people, either making the place look better or sitting down and lending an ear, lending the odd comment. So I thought it was kind of interesting. There's been a lot of Hope House representation here, and the last way, and probably the one I have the most trouble with, it's kind of that dirty little secret type thing, that I'm a financial services professional. I'm an insurance agent. I have the most trouble coming out and saying that. It's like, I'm a used car salesman or something, because of some people's responses. But I get there, and all these other things that I've done, so much of them have been about me helping people make some kind of change, whether it's being a change in their physical environment, a change in their social, political environment, maybe in their mental health, or in their financial place. So I do know that they're all tied together, but sometimes it seems strange about why I'd refer to one. So the intro music, I chose Signs because I couldn't find a song called Labels everywhere, label. So the signs kind of control, limit me at times. And these ones that you'll know me as, they're there. It's like, what do you do, or whatever. Hi, I'm Mark. And the other interesting thing is, being a guy, I talked about careers mostly there, not other things like a partner or a mother or father. Well, obviously not mother, brother, father, whatever. But I talked about the careers. That's a guy thing to do. But the signs, the labels that challenge me the most are the ones that I have inside. The ones that at one point in the past were like, if you talk to people, they're going to laugh. They're going to not want to listen to you. They're going to tell you, shut up, be quiet, or whatever. Those are sometimes things that as kids we might pick up. For me, it was more than that. For whatever reason, as a child, I developed a language of my own, more or less, that other than maybe my parents could understand, most couldn't. So that what did you say, or what are you trying to say, was part of the existence reality for me, and that caused a lot of challenges. I was one of those special kids in the classroom that would leave for a little while and go and do the speech therapy. So I had to do all that kind of stuff. And I know what I feared most, besides death, what they say about public speaking, I know how much that terrified me. As grade 6, 7, 8, you're supposed to get up and public speak, and I'd be a great student, but I could not do that. And then in high school, it was the same thing. I was even president of the Students' Council, and I was so very happy when nobody ran against me, and I didn't have to give a speech except to say thank you for my opponent, you put up a good battle. So that was all part of it. One of the things, I mentioned this part about being an addict, and through the disease of addiction, one of the benefits of it, everything has a benefit. Look at it, is I learned how to public speak. I learned, didn't learn, I just numbed the pain or the fear so I could do it anyways. And that's one of the things I did. There were a couple other people that were in the media. It was like doing the university radio station or DJing in the bar and that kind of thing. I'm not fully sure what I said most of the time, but I was able to get up and do what I needed to do. After later, obviously, if I needed to change what I was doing, things got a little worse, but it allowed me to get up and do this kind of thing in the beginning. And then I ended up doing a career for a while where part of it was as training people, corporate training, business, in the work environment. And it was still kind of strange because I was always this person that was afraid of talking in front of people. But it happened. So where I'm going with the idea of the labels, is that it's how I would limit myself. Like what do you have to say? Well, who's going to care? Or that kind of thing. Or the other ones like, what girl's going to want to have anything to do with you? Or all these, what happens if she says no? What happens if you get turned down? Things that would affect the self-confidence, such that, again, it became easier to not ask and not to try some things, but to find ways to isolate or to, the other one thing I'd do would be to rebel. If I couldn't be sociable, I'd be a bit of an asshole. I mean, what do you do? My voice sometimes came from protests knocking on the doors of a couple of provinces' parliament buildings and that kind of thing. I did that, but that would be in anger. But expressing myself, right. That was not something. So it's been an interesting journey. Other ones are, don't do that, you're going to fail so much. Don't try that, what happens? Or it was like, what's your mother going to think? I mean, that was a big one. What the expectations of what I was going to do. It was like being the smartest kid in the class at times, but not wanting to be there. Or being told, I don't know how you did it, but you managed to do it anyways. You didn't really deserve it. So the message is that you get from that, and I didn't really deserve it. So I'm not really worth it. These kinds of signs and labels that I would bring on. So this journey through life has been one about learning and identifying the labels, the signs, and trying to figure out how to deal with them. I know that I was talking with Tanya a little while ago, where we were online, and she said, you should talk about your addiction stuff. And it's like, no, I didn't really want to mention that. That's really not what I wanted to talk about. I mean, 4 years ago, I talked about how my left knee left me. I got to talk about the decisions about having a knee replacement surgery as my 50th birthday present to myself. And it was a pretty neat thing to do, as I go a little bit on a side journey here, because I learned to make a decision, what was truly important to me then, how so many things in my life were challenged, how my business was challenged and failing. I wasn't the most pleasant person to be around. My partner, who's back in the corner, had to put up with me in a lot of pain, scaring her, crying at night and stuff, things that people wouldn't see or have to listen to me walking. So I went through this surgery, and I told it, and I'll go into the details about being awake for the surgery and everything like that. So I'll say that now. I'll save the fun stuff. But it was about making a decision, and it's the same as making the decision to change or not believe in one of these labels. Again, Tanya and I were at a talk a little while ago, and there was a lady talking about how when you resist, it persists. So if I try to fight it, it would often get worse. So the idea was to acknowledge it, to surrender to it, to say, okay, I choose not to, rather than fight, and I'm going to be different, because I know it was important for me to fight for the longest of time. So learning to just sort of acknowledge where I'm at, acknowledge what that shortcoming is, allows me to make changes in my life. I've got this partially written book. I stopped writing it when I realized I needed to do what I was writing about and make a difference. It was like, well, that's telling me that I got to wind down in a little bit. I goofed. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's about, making that decision and doing what I need to do. I made the decision to do the knee, and I had all kinds of other changes take place. It was easy to make the decisions then. But that one big one or that one little one, whatever, it's making that decision. So, years ago there was a movie out, The Secret. And so my arrogance was, I'm going to write this a book about what secret. There is no real secret. What we need to do is make the decision and do it. It's as simple as that. So for me to get through the labels I had, the signs I had, was to make a decision to change them. And it becomes as simple as that. And that's about it. What secret? We all have them, but oh well.